Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Universe of Magic podcast. I am your sub pinch hitting main host, Jeff Armbruster. And I'm here with Alyssa. Say hi, Alyssa.
Hello.
And we have our special guest host with us today, Beth. Hey, Beth.
Hey, guys.
And we don't have John today, Alyssa. We're sad we don't have John today, but we're gonna march forward here and kick butt, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and put some John mannerisms in the show today.
Yeah, we'll have some Johnisms in here a little bit, but he couldn't be with us tonight. So you got me and Alyssa driving at the controls. And Beth, we thank you for being with us tonight for what's going to be a really fun podcast. Alyssa, why don't you tell us what it's a little bit about?
I got really excited actually writing up all the show notes for today, thinking of all the exciting things to do on our next trip, because today is all about thrills. So all the excitement, whether it be thrills as in attractions, thrills as in experiences. And so, yeah, we're going to like deep dive into it today. So
and thrills are sometimes, not as always associated with Disney, because it's always kind of like been a family fun, atmosphere. But there are so many thrills that you could have at Disney. They don't have to be the scary thrills. They can be family fun thrills. They can be thrills for the first time. There's just so many thrills that the thrill factor is just off the meter when it comes to Disney and the wow factor. So hopefully you guys will love this episode.
Yeah, I like that you started off with that, Jeffrey, because at first I listed what I consider like what you would think of as the thrills that are available at Disney. So like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, Tron, Light Cycle Run. And then I went through and I was thinking of like those other ones that can be thrilling. So even like Test Track. Like that is not a bam in your face, but that is kind of thrilling. I was even thinking Trip is now tall enough to do Barnstormer. That's going to be a thrill for sure for him. So there's a lot of different ones and different levels depending on like what you.
Yeah, even soaring can be thrilling. I remember my son as a little 3-4-year-old going on it for the first time, and he was just thrilled to be basically erected up to the screen. It's pretty big and tall and daunting for the little ones. So I mean, there's so many thrill factors. Virtual thrills, think of Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom. So many awesome thrills. So let's get into it.
Yeah. All right, so how about Beth? I'm going to ask you, when you think thrills, what do you think of at Disney?
Okay, my answer would have been Guardians of the Galaxy, and it is, but right now Tron. It's a good one. It surprised me.
Agreed. Pleasantly surprised me.
Right.
Yeah. Like I think it. Everyone said it was fast, but until you're actually on it, you don't really understand how fast.
I mean, and people compare it to a Rock and Roller Coaster, and I guess in a way it kind of is like that, but not, because you can see what's happening. And on Rock and Roller Coaster, you're in the dark, and I don't know. It's amazing.
I love how the way you're talking, because I think when I think of that ride, it just leaves me speechless, and that's kind of how you are. Like you can't find words to describe.
Rock and Roller Coaster is still my number one thrill ride, I think, at Disney. I mean, I love Guardians. It's probably my favorite ride at the moment right now. Tron is awesome, but man, there's still nothing like Steven Tyler in your ears and being thrown into the dark, and it's just a great ride. I still love it. I'm so happy that when they reopened here a few weeks ago, that the Aerosmith theme wasn't gone. Like all the rumor boards and all the I won't say the names of the websites said that they were going to be changing it. It was really a lot of nothing, if it makes sense. I'm sure there's a lot of different maintenance things they had to do, and that's really all that window was for, just to fix one of our favorite rides at Disney.
Yeah, I will say Rock and Roller Coaster was always my number one. So like when Chris and I were down there for like our mini honeymoon after our wedding, he looked at me and was like, "What's your favorite ride? Wherever it is, we're gonna go to that park." And it was Rock and Roller Coaster, like no doubt. But now as I get older, I can't handle it as much as I used to be able to. And Beth knows this. I have to request the front because the back is just too much. I just can't do it anymore.
It's funny you say you can't handle it. I find myself, as I get older, I'm 48 now. I'm probably the oldest one on this call, right? And I find myself personally preparing myself differently for rides in the parks now, even right down to the insoles I put in my shoes. But Rock and Roller Coaster, definitely, I would agree with you. I have to ride it a little bit differently than I did when I was in my
Mhm.
30s, for sure.
And I mean, I do the same for Guardians too. I request the front. I feel like that's just my safe spot. but Guardians has definitely moved into my number one spot. But I think I'm biased because before Disney really had any type of Guardians anything, it was like my number one movie, like my favorite of all time. So I automatically had like, they already kind of drew me in with that anyway. And so, but then like the experiencing the ride itself and how great it was, then I was like, okay, yeah, I like this one better.
Yeah,
I know after I got off of, after
go ahead, Beth.
The night that we all rode it, that one night, I can't describe the feeling that I felt when I got off of it. Now, Tron did not leave me feeling quite like that. Like, I enjoyed Tron, but Guardians just blew my mind the very first time.
And do you guys both agree that the song choice you get on Guardians can make it even a lot better too?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes.
So your number one song, Beth, what's your favorite one on Guardians?
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
That's my unicorn. I've only had it once. That's my unicorn.
I've only had it once.
But it's a great song.
I've had Disco Inferno every single time I've ridden it, except for the one time that I had.
Yeah, your Disco Inferno is my Gloria Estefan. If I hear her song one more time on that ride, I'm gonna Harry Carey. What is your number one song, Alyssa?
September, by far. Yeah, I was so eager. I have yet to have Conga or Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Those are the two that I have not had. I've had the other four. So,
I think there was a streak there where I had Congress 6 times in a row. So my favorite one is I Ran by the Flock of Seagulls. That's my favorite one.
I have to say I was pleasantly surprised that was so my last trip. I got 3 new songs all 3 times that I rode it. And so I Ran was one I was not thrilled with, but then once I was on the ride and experienced it, it actually worked really, really well. I was pleasantly surprised.
So there's a little known factor, a non-factor rumor that one of the songs that was supposed to be on there was Dolly Parton 9 to 5. Can't confirm that anywhere, but I've seen it on a few people's playlists on Apple. That'd have been a cool song too to have, 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they'll modify or add songs in the future.
Christmas time, they do Run Run Rocket, which is, that's the only song they play during the Christmas time, the overlay.
I do think they need multiple Christmas ones, like normal.
Sleigh Ride would be a good one, like a really hard version of Sleigh Ride or something.
That could be good. Yeah. So. A thrill ride that I kind of forget about sometimes is Dinosaur. That one.
Oh yeah.
Like kind of scares the crap out of me.
Yes. Right there at the end. Oh, every time I know it's coming. I know the camera's there, and I give myself the pep talk, and it every time.
We'll have to, maybe all of us have to dig out our favorite dinosaur picture and send it to John to put in right at this point right here.
It's literally this every single picture. I don't think I have one.
Last time I went, back in February, I was there with some other agents, and I must have been exhausted. That is the only time it's ever gotten me where I don't look scared, I don't look happy, I look bored. I'm just sitting there like you can do better than this. I'm just sitting that way.
Every picture for me is like, I know where the camera's at. I know what to expect. I'm always like, that's awesome. That's the fun. That's the fun part about Disney is the on-ride photos for sure.
And I just finally found. I thought for the longest time that the photo on Guardians was at the backwards launch, but it's not. Like I finally saw where it was. It's like this one area where you're literally going like this, and there it is. So next time I will be prepared for the picture.
Next time.
Yeah. Here's another one that I have to admit, this is the one ride in Disney World that I have never and will never do. I don't know if you can guess what it is.
I know.
Oh, I'm at a loss here. What would Alyssa not do?
There's only one ride I won't do.
There's only one ride, and is it considered a thrill ride?
I think I've never been on it.
Is it Tower of Terror?
No. Oh, I love Tower of Terror. That one's great.
Man, what other thrill rides would you not do because it scares the heck out of you?
I think it scares me more of how I'll feel at the end.
Not Flight of Passage.
No, I'm good there.
Man.
Beth got it.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Millennium
I'm not gonna
Falcon?
ride it either.
Nope, love that one.
The teacups?
Think Epcot.
Think Epcot. Oh, Mission Space.
There you go.
Yeah, I've done both sides, the green and the red. The green is very mild in my opinion. You feel a lot like you do when you get off Flight of Passage. But the red is, yeah, I've yacked on that one. A couple times I've yacked. It's, have you guys ever watched the video? Go on YouTube later and type in red mission. Mission Space from the outside, and you can see that thing just spinning.
Yeah.
I might get sick watching the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I'd be okay on the green one. Like, I don't think I could. I think just based on what I've seen, I don't think I could do it. So I just won't. Because I feel like it's going to ruin my whole day, and it's just not worth it to me. I don't.
And they've changed it. The last few years, it used to be just all mission to Mars.
Yeah.
Now the red mission is the only one that goes to Mars, and the green is kind of like a fly around the Earth.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
So I've watched videos of it, but
I'm kind of protesting it too. They took away Gary Sinise, which pissed me off.
Oh.
Now it's just like a generic British version of somebody in there, you know. But I miss Gary Sinise. I miss Lieutenant Dan.
When I was at my friend's bachelorette party at Epcot, a bunch of the girls wanted to go on it first thing in the morning, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" And they all went, and I hung back with two others that didn't want to do it either, and they all came off, and they were like, "Yeah, that was a bad idea." So
you feel the same way, Beth? You won't go on it?
On Mission Space?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, especially not after you said you've thrown up twice. No.
That was a red mission. That was the red mission.
Yeah, no, not doing it. But Flight of Passage, I feel fine on. I love Flight of Passage. I don't even get motion sick at all on that. And then, like Guardians, I felt queasy that first time, but then I was fine once I knew what was going to happen the second time.
If you can do Flight of Passage, you can do the green mission on Mission Space. It's really not that intense at all. The car just kind of goes back and forth versus the red where it spins like a centrifuge.
Would would you compare it at all to like Simpsons at Universal?
In my opinion, there's nothing like the red mission. There's nothing to compare it to, but that's
the green one. Sorry, I meant like the green one.
The green one, I would say the Simpsons is, in my opinion, more intense. In my opinion.
I don't like Simpsons. I can handle the movement, but I don't look at the screen.
Yeah, if you can handle the Simpsons, you can definitely handle the green mission on Mission Space. Because, like I said, it's very mild. It's you definitely feel it, but you don't feel any worse than you do on Flight of Passage or on definitely the Simpsons, Men in Black. You don't really feel anything worse than that.
Okay, well we'll see. I'm not making.
Then you can check it off that you've done everything at Disney World.
True. It's literally the only thing I don't think I've done, like attraction wise. So
it's really no worse than Tower of Terror.
Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know.
She's gonna text me in a couple months. You jerk.
You lie.
So my husband hasn't done it either because I won't do it, and we talked about this next trip. Like if our son is like taking a nap, like maybe he'll go try it because he can handle anything. He doesn't get motion sick or anything. So I was like, well, it's always usually a pretty low weight. Go do both sides and then tell me if you think, because he'd be honest. He'll know if I could handle the green side or not.
If he does red, all bets are off. I mean, everybody feels differently, but man, that red one is just it's too intense for me.
We'll do it at the end of the day, just in case. So then I added this one to the intense side only because it also scares the crap out of me. It's tough to be a bug.
Now that's got to be from a scare factor, not so much
yeah.
Oh, you don't like the little bugs running underneath and touching your butt and all that stuff?
No. You and your back. That's the one that I'm nervous the whole time for.
Always gets me. Yeah. No, I literally stand up at the end of the show when I know they're about to crawl under my butt and stuff.
It's always comical to me, and I don't mean this in a bad way, people who are watching, but it's always comical to me to go on that ride because I know there's going to be some parent that's dragged their kid in there that doesn't want to go, and they're literally screaming the whole show.
The entire time, yeah.
The whole time. You know,
That was
that's Beth screaming.
well, it was my kid. We had to remove ourselves.
Oh.
Yeah, that was that mom doing the walk of shame with her 3-year-old.
That is
And,
a scary show.
Most of the kids are okay until the spiders do their parachute drop.
Yeah. But no, I am a total baby. I have a giant bug phobia. Like I don't get scared on things like Tower of Terror. Well, I get scared on like, like I'm not going to Halloween Horror Nights because I'm scared of cat with that. But like bugs, I just can't do them. Any of them. So I like A Bug's Life, the movie, but I don't like that show. Anyway, yes, fear factor there.
And I think they removed the one at California Adventure in favor of the new Marvel area. So that one's been removed. I'm happy they still have it at Animal Kingdom because I love that ride or show, to be honest with you. But
I'll do it for a trip one day. I'll do it for him. But I know it's coming, and I'm going to sit on the edge of my seat and not have a bee sting me. And
but that makes sense to me now with you not liking it because you didn't want to do some of the haunted houses on the upcoming trip, right? Over at Horror Nights. So see,
nope.
I used to run a haunted house, so I'm kind of a freak that way. So
yeah, nope. Sorry, I can't. I still have that music from the ad for the Stranger Things house playing in my head and giving me nightmares. I'm not doing it. No, Beth and I are going to be sipping drinks at the Polynesian, and while y'all go have fun and screaming your heads off.
I've never been to Trader Sam's. I'm going to pick that over a haunted house any day.
Yes. Oh, we just done that a couple weeks ago. I finally bought the cup.
Which one?
The zombie.
Oh, I love the zombie.
So Beth,
that was good.
If you've never been to Trader Sam's, the drink you need to get is the zombie.
Okay.
Good.
And then pay the extra $5 or $6 and buy the cup and take it home. It's a wonderful addition to your cupboard.
Okay, because that's what I need. I literally need more cups.
Oh yeah, this one's different.
Will be worth it.
Yeah, this one's different. The zombie, and it's a really good drink. It's like five different versions of rum together. It's such a good drink, man. But eat something before, because I didn't eat very much the last time, and I don't remember the first hour after we left Trader Sam's. So yeah, I don't remember.
Well,
it's strong.
We might have a night like that.
Yeah, we went from Trader Sam's to the Enchanted Rose. I remember the second half of the Enchanted Rose, and then I remember going over to Contemporary, went to Steakhouse 71 and got some food, and then I was fine.
That was good. You speak of that, though, I'm going to jump around a little bit on here because we talked about thrill experiences. And that, again, when we talk about with someone who's never experienced something before and you're trying to like hype it up for them, but not give too much away. That's something like Trader Sam's I've been trying to tell Beth, like, you're going to love it, but I'm not going to tell you everything that happens because it's so thrilling when you experience it the first time.
And the workers are so good at what they do in there. They are just awesome. It's an experience. I would say definitely get there. We got there at 1:45 in the afternoon because at 2:00 they come out and start taking your name, and they don't open till 3. So you have an hour to tool around and check the stores out, which is kind of cool. You have an hour to play around in Polynesian. So get there at 1:45 because usually that puts you in that first group that gets the tables.
Okay. Yep. We're set. We're good.
Trader Sam's is awesome, and buy the T-shirt. You'll be happy you did.
Okay. The drink, the T-shirt, the cup, anything else?
No. Eat something. Eat something before you go in.
Yeah.
You know what though? Jeff, have you had the food that they have there? It's actually really good.
I think 3 or 4 years ago, the party we were with bought some appetizers or some things for our table. So yes, I do, but I don't remember any of it, to be honest with you.
For the same reason.
For the same reason. I think I was drinking the zombie.
That's hilarious. So it's good. It's good. I took my dad for the first time, and my dad is like that person who gets amazed by the smallest thing. But since this was a bigger thing, like he literally the whole time was like cracking up and like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like literally the whole time. Yeah. So,
my only complaint is I wish it was twice the size so they could get more people in there, but that's part of the fun of it and the attraction. It's a very small little bar, and most people, to be honest with you, don't even know it's there. They stay there for a whole week. And they walk by it 100 times and don't even know that's a bar.
Yep. Just a little door.
One of the and you hit it on the head, Alyssa. It's one of those thrilling experiences at Disney. Nothing to do with the ride or anything. It's just a really cool, thrilling experience. So awesome.
And talking about like other experiences, there was one of our previous episodes, we talked about those enchanting extras, and the one that came to mind was the one you've done at least once, Jeff, the Wild Africa trek.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Would you consider that thrilling? Or...
Yes. Yeah, because you're getting up close and personal with some of those animals that you wouldn't want anywhere near you. You know, like they have you on a chain or a rope, basically, and they're letting you like lean right down into the alligator pit. You know, which you're still nowhere near the alligators, but you're a lot closer than you are when you're on the, you know, the car on the ride. And, you know, you recall the savannah area, the wide open big area that you're driving through. Well, that's where you stop and they park the car and you get to go up in that little loft up there and have a lunch, you know. So it's definitely a thrilling aspect of doing something different at Animal Kingdom. I would love to do it again, to be honest with you. It just seems like every time I want to do it, it's 130 degrees out, and I don't particularly want to be in the non-air conditioned back of a truck for a while, so we don't do it. The one time I did do it, it was like 65, 70 degrees, so it was perfect weather.
Actually sounds awesome.
Perfect. Yeah, it was perfect weather.
So pro tip, do the trek in like February.
Yeah, February or January. You know, definitely don't do it in the summer because you're in an open air back of a truck, and it's just, you know, they say it's still air cooled, but that's still warm Florida air blowing all over you. So try to do it, you know, on a cooler day, because I think you'll enjoy the experience more, not sweating through your shirt.
Gotcha. You know, a thrilling experience that I was really excited to do way back in the day, and then once I did it, I absolutely hated it, was riding a Surrey bike around the boardwalk. Have you guys ever done that?
I've never done that before. We rented bikes at where was it? Port Orleans, I think it was. Or
they have the same kind over there.
Yeah, never done it at the boardwalk. I always thought just the bumpy boards would be horrible versus cement.
That part wasn't the horrible part. It was the, you know, the part where the hills are, where the bridges are.
Yeah. Going to Beach and Yacht Club.
Awful.
Yeah, it was a great idea until about 10 minutes in.
Get a workout. Didn't know you needed.
And then my family decided we're going to go around twice. We're going to get our money's worth. Pretty bad.
Yeah, don't recommend that thrill.
One of the enchanting extras that I want to do, and maybe one of you two have done it or know somebody. I really want to take the fishing boat out from Epcot and go into, you know, Showcase Lagoon and basically fish while everybody's walking around the countries. I didn't even know that was a thing until a few years ago.
I haven't done it, but I have a client who's planning to do it later this year. So I'll give you a review if they let me know.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely want to know how that was, because we thought about doing it when we were down there in June. Just didn't happen. Too many other things going on. But I would love to do that one time.
Yeah, which when I mentioned client, I should probably do this so John doesn't kill me. Before we forget, we are sponsored by Moments of Magic Travel, so get your free no obligation quotes. momentsmagictravel.com. Sorry, Beth, that Mike was asking you. So.
You're fine.
Anyway, okay, but yeah, the other things that I listed off is like things that we didn't think of. One I've never done is the big balloon, the aerofoil thing at Disney Springs. Have you guys done that before?
I have not. My son did it during his college program and said it was pretty cool. You know, I mean, it's, I guess, the next best thing to going up in a real hot air balloon. It's more like on a track or, you know, a little up down. But he said it was pretty cool. He said it was awful hot up there. Again, you know, he was there in the warm weather, but he said it was pretty cool. He liked it.
Yeah, and then there's the how do you call it? It's called amphicar, whatever.
Yeah, the amphibicar over at the boathouse.
Thank you. I just love watching, because I will probably never pay to do it because it's really expensive. But I just love watching people go.
They are so cute.
Yeah.
I love I've not done it, but I would love to.
Yeah, the little track that the car sits on, and then it like turns them, and then they go down, and like everyone cheers for them and stuff. Like that's super fun.
Are either one of you guys scuba certified?
No, but I really want to be, just to do the Epcot.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah,
I'm not either. That would be kind of neat to do. but I don't anticipate getting scuba certified just to do that.
Right.
But then again, if I go on a cruise, you could do something scuba related there too, you know.
True. I have a friend who she went to like her honeymoon and I don't know, like Jamaica or something at this all inclusive, and it was like right as things were opening from COVID and there was no one there, and they like offered to let them get scuba certified like for free, like on their honeymoon.
Wow.
And so she's like, well, we're not gonna do anything else. Why not? So now she's scuba certified.
That's a couple $100 a person, man. That's awesome. And for those of us that don't know what we're talking about, at Epcot, when you go to Coral Reef Restaurant and you're looking at the aquarium, you may or may not see from time to time a person actually doing a scuba dive. That's Alyssa, that's Beth, that's me paying to do it. Paying to do it, and you can scuba dive right at Epcot and watch everybody eat their steak.
I mean, that would be so cool. Yeah, the fish would be fun. It'd be more fun to see the people in the restaurant.
I think I would love to do it just to go up to the glass and stare at somebody while they eat.
Like, what are you eating?
Yeah, like lick my lips through my thing. That'd be hilarious. But I'd probably be kicked out of Epcot. Last person to ever do it.
Oh goodness. Can you guys think of any other non-attraction thrills before I go back to attractions? Because I'm jumping all over the place.
I mean, you have Space 220 listed on here.
Totally skipped that. Yeah, I want to say like we were with, because you know they load a bunch of people up into their elevator thing, and there were several kids who really felt like we were going up 220 feet into the air.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. I really felt like we were going up in
miles
over Florida. It was cool. I think it was very well done for what it is.
Yeah, and when you're sitting there eating, you're just watching everyone do a spacewalk. I mean, it's a cool experience for sure. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't say the food was up to par when we did it. They had they only been open a few weeks, in fairness, you know, to the restaurant. I thought the food was good, but not like $80 per person good.
Mm-hmm.
But the experience was cool, shooting up there, walking through the centrifuge into the restaurant, and then just seeing everybody spacewalk while you're eating. That's a cool experience for sure.
I grew up on like Xenon and the 21st Century movies on the Disney Channel, and like that's what it made me feel like I was in a Xenon movie and I was going up to space.
So if you're a Disney, I mean, my kid said it reminded them of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, that's after my time. I don't know.
It was after my time, but my son was all into it, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay, but going back, then we were something you said when you introduced us, Jeff, was like thrills can also be like family thrills too. So like there are several rides and attractions that maybe some of them do have like a height requirement, but a lot of really little kids can go on them still. Yeah. So like Trip is only 2 inches short to be able to go on both Millennium Falcon and Slinky Dog. And I'm like, he's so little. Can he really already almost go on those? But he can. So, or
and that you said 2 inches?
2 inches. That's all he needs.
Yeah, that could be a week from now.
Right. I know. So we're wondering if by the time of our trip, end of October, if he'll be tall enough to go.
Well, if not, you can buy shoes that will make him tall enough.
I know.
I'm not too proud to say that I didn't heighten a little bit when my kids were small just to get on some rides, you know. But yeah, I mean, and the first time he goes on, has he been on Barnstormer yet?
No, that's the plan, because he was not tall enough last time. So
those are all thrilling factors from a couple angles. I mean, obviously for the kid, that's like them going on those first rides is like us going on Guardians or something. And then you as a parent looking at them and seeing their reaction is another thrilling aspect. I mean, it's almost a better experience when you get to live these trips through the wondrous eyes of our kids, personally.
Jeff, I needed you to tell me that when mine was younger, because I was like, he would not go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. He was scared to death, but he would ride Barnstormer, and I was secretly a little disappointed in him. I was like, "Is this my kid?" But you should have gave me that pep talk back then, and I would have had a different attitude. That's a good way to look at it.
I remember my dad telling me that, you know, he's like, you get to be a parent, you get to like do everything over again and have fun. You get to play with all your Legos again. And he's right, man. You know, I've been an
Mm.
entrepreneur working at home for almost 15 years now, and a lot of that time I'd be playing with my kids out in the living room. You know, I mean, it is a cool experience to be able to do some of those things that you did as a kid through your kids' eyes, especially the rides. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and Disney in general is just, you know, it's for families, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why most of those rides are family rides. You ride them together, and some great memories. I'm getting a little nostalgic here.
No, you're right. I think our last few trips have not been focused on us. Like when I go meet up with like you guys as agents and stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
I get to do the fun stuff. But when it's a family, all the focus is on him and what he can do and what he wants to do. And it is, but it's not by any means a bad experience because I didn't do like the bigger thrills as I would normally think of them. But it's like still thrilling because you're right. It's a different experience doing it with him versus just doing it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just awesome to do Disney with your kids and see that through their eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't even have to be a ride. You know, I remember as a kid taking our two when they were young to the Hoop-de-Doo Review over at, you know, Fort Wilderness. And by no means is that like scary or, you know, like someone jumping, like a show where someone's jumping into a little pool or something. It's just a fun, thrilling thing to do, you know, and watching the show or the now retired show over at Polynesian where they're building the new DVC tower. You know, that was fun to do too. And that was kind of thrilling. I remember my son being pulled out and got to hula dance with them and, you know, be out there when they were doing the fire and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's just so many cool, thrilling things, and it doesn't have to be a ride.
I really hope they bring that back, by the way. I never got to do it.
I hope they do bring it back somehow. Maybe they built, maybe we don't know this new DVC tower. Maybe we'll have a stadium in it. I don't know, or a little auditorium. I don't know, but I just don't see it coming back. I hope it does. I just don't know if it's going to.
Which stinks. You would think that would have been like a lucrative thing. Like it costs a lot of money. It was always sold out. Like you would have thought it would have been something they would have kept around.
Such good food too.
Yeah.
You know, all you can eat ribs. Yes, please. That's our Johnism right there. Meat, steak.
You're right.
That's a shout out for you, John.
So our last episode was all about Disneyland, so we're not going to talk too much about that. And I feel like we're all like not the pros at Disneyland anyway to go deep into it. But I mentioned like the big ones that came to mind. So the Matterhorn, it's like Everest meets Space Mountain, right? So that's definitely like a thrill. The Indiana Jones is the Indiana Jones version of Dinosaur, but everyone says Indiana Jones is better. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout over there. So they're Tower of Terror, but turned.
Yeah, I would agree. Indiana Jones it's to me, it's the identical ride to Dinosaur. It's just a different theming. I think I like the Indiana Jones version just a little bit better because, you know, it's Harrison Ford. How can you not like that better? Have you been over there, Alyssa? Been on Matterhorn?
I loved Matterhorn. I thought it was great. Some people complain that it's too jerky, which I do complain nowadays about Space Mountain. So.
I saw a TikTok video the other day. What, you know, this is your experience on Matterhorn, and it's like one of those kids going down a slide and they're bumping their heads back and forth.
Yeah.
And have you been on Matterhorn before or to Disneyland, Beth? Yeah, it's one of those nostalgic rides. You have to go when you do it because it's like one of Walt's rides, right? You know, but it's definitely it's not using some of the technology that we have today in the tech. You know,
you can tell it's from the 70s.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah, but it's good. It's fun. So, and I hear that a lot of people obviously were disappointed about Tower of Terror getting overhauled, but then now I hear a lot of like at least locals, it's like their favorite ride.
Yeah.
There. So
yeah, we got to experience it a few years ago, and it's very different from our Guardians at Epcot. But it's definitely a cool twist on, you know, Tower of Terror with the Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel feel to it. And they've done a great job theming it too, taking that building and retheming it and everything. So, and then building it closer near to the whole Marvel land.
Yeah, again, I can't be too mad because I love Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and at least they kept the normal like Tower of Terror on the East Coast.
I love Guardians too. I was kind of pissed at them that they made me cry in this last movie. They've done such a good job of the way they ended that, you know, without going into details. I mean, they done a good job with that movie.
It was a very what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like it ended very
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet. There we go. Yes.
That's exactly what it was. Because I expected it to be like the Guardians are done. And they are in their current form, but they're not done.
Right. So it's the thrills that, again, we're just going to briefly touch on it though, but again, doesn't have to be those attractions in the 4 parks. So another one that I thought was the water parks. I will say Summit Plummet, probably the most thrilling thing I've ever done.
Yep.
And I won't probably do it again, but I can say I did it because you're falling like I don't even know how many stories high, literally straight down on slide with nothing holding on to you. So
yeah, it's close to 200 feet, isn't it?
I think so. I wanted to say like 180. Yeah, 185 or something like that. So
you think about it, some of the most thrilling coasters are a couple hundred feet drops, you know, and you're doing it, but nothing but a bathing suit on.
Okay, I'm going to need y'all to talk me through this because, I've never been. So is it like one of those where you're standing on a platform and the platform drops out, or what's it like?
Oh no, you got to push yourself off.
Yeah, it's a typical water slide. You get down on your butt and then you go down, but it's not by any means straight down, Beth, because obviously they can't have it straight, but it feels like you're dropping straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you say that? Would you say that's the good description, Alyssa?
Your body,
because
the water slide, like, are you off of the water slide a little bit?
No,
not on that one. No.
Yeah,
There's the one right next to it that is smaller that has like 3 humps, and you can kind of fly off the slide a little bit. On that one.
Yeah, you can. I would say that it's definitely tough on your back, in the sense that like you can feel the ride, and I'm hopefully when it reopens, because I believe it's still shut down at the moment. Taylor never got to he never got to go over there and experience it or work over there. Just Typhoon Lagoon while he was there, but I think it's still down at the moment, and I'm hoping that part of what they're doing is rehabbing some of these drop slides, because you can feel every groove as you're going down. I remember my back being pretty red. And
what I will say is it takes you a total of 7 seconds to get from the top down to the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a 7 seconds, though, I can imagine.
It's very fast.
Yeah, and you have a crowd of people that just sit there and watch people come off that ride, because there's all different types of reactions, and sometimes there's bathing suit parts that are on at the top and they weren't on when you came down.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I tell when I used to work at Blizzard Beach, if someone came in like the smallest bikini, I would tell them like really hold on tight.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my wife crossing right over.
Yeah.
Saying that this isn't popping off from the front.
It'll give you the worst wedgie too.
And you get the worst wedgie. Yeah, you're gonna see everyone's butt cheeks. It's like the whole Seinfeld, good naked and bad naked. You're gonna see both.
So, yeah, when I worked for Blizzard Beach, every day there was a slide operator, which I was, and a lifeguard who would go test all the slides. So it would just make sure there was nothing in the way, the buttons were working, all that good stuff. And I signed up one day forgetting that you had to go down Summit Plummet. And I was like, well, I guess I have to at this point. And so that was the one and only time I did it. And it was great because no one was watching me because the park wasn't open yet, except for one lifeguard watching. Yeah,
and have you been to either one, Beth?
No, I haven't.
So they have their own things that you're going to love about both. The slides, the thrill factor, I think, is a little bit higher at Blizzard Beach. Although, some could argue that the wave pool at, Typhoon Lagoon is pretty thrilling. I think both of them have great lazy rivers. They're both comparable in the sense that it's just fun just to hang in there and just go around 3 or 4 times and, let your worries just melt away. Typhoon Lagoon's, I think, a little bit more relaxing because you can just sit in the front of that pool when there's not waves going on and just chill in the cool water and never feel like you're in the Florida heat. But they're both just so awesome, such great parks. I love the way Blizzard Beach the theming is so intent on making you feel like you're in a Colorado ski lift, right down to the ski lift that takes you up. They're both really cool.
That ski lift is another thrill that kind of terrifies me.
Yeah.
Only did that thing once too, and I won't do it again.
and all the hotels, every single Disney hotel has got some type of mini water park, you could argue, within their resort. and not so much on the value side, but when you get to the moderates, you got water slides, you know, you got a lot of different things that can be considered thrilling without having to go into the park, you know. So
I just stayed at Caribbean Beach for the first time this last trip, and I did not know that their slide was like enclosed. It's dark.
yeah.
I was screaming the whole way down. Like, it was actually a really good slide. I like that, pleasantly surprising. Like, I would consider that's, in my eyes, like one of the top two, probably like the top 2 or 3 slides on property. The other one being at Yacht and Beach Club with the pirate slide.
Yep.
So
I was just going to say Yacht and Beach Club might rival it, but those are probably the top 2. I agree with you, Alyssa.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was so much fun. So can you guys think of anything else that we didn't mention at resorts? That, like,
man, at the resorts, thrilling factor, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani or Jumbo House, just looking over the savannah from some of the, you know, whether even if you don't have a savannah window, going into the hallway and looking through one of the windows and seeing all the animals graze right in front of you. One of my favorite things about the Disney resorts is that those savannah views that you have at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yeah, we with our DVC try to stay there once every 5 or 6 years, just for that you know, that factor right there.
You know, one that gives me a like an awe factor is Grand Floridian when you walk into that lobby.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
I cannot wait for this refurb to be done, because I feel like I'm gonna get that feeling all over again. Like, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, we were just in there a few weeks ago. We done the Enchanted Rose on our little booze drinking of the monorail. I actually thought they were replacing the carpet in the main room, but they just have it covered because of all the stuff they're doing above. They're not replacing the carpet. They said
yes,
right
they
now.
are. They will.
Yeah, they will, but right now they're not. They said
sure.
it might be fall before they do that.
But so when I was there in June, they told us that the entire refurbishment should be done by, the plan is October, but they're saying end of the year just to give them some buffer. But they will be replacing the carpet once all that outside work is done. I think that's one of the last things they have to do, and all the marble is remaining, so none of that is going.
Yeah, it's definitely a little stressful in there right now. But all the outer buildings have been done, I believe, and they're just focusing on the last inner buildings.
Correct. Yeah.
Did you guys see the refurbished rooms at Boardwalk? Not to change the subject too much, but man, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, because I felt like the old ones were dated, so I'm glad that
they definitely were. But I just love the wall decorations and everything. They done a good job with the Boardwalk one.
Agreed. All right, the last thing I wanted to ask was you, Jeff, specifically. You've been to every Disney park in the world. Is there one park that you think has more thrills than maybe the other ones?
So probably the most thrilling ride did come at a park outside of the United States, and I think we've talked about it before in the past, but the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney Shanghai in China is nothing like any of the versions, you know, from Paris to Orlando to California. They actually are taking the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, like really taking those movies and bringing a 3-dimensional aspect to that ride. You feel like you're going underwater. You feel like you're in the middle of a fighting scene between a couple of the pirate boats, from Barbosa to everybody. I mean, it is like dark in the sense of how the ride is, and it's super thrilling. If you guys get an opportunity, go on YouTube and type in Pirates of the Caribbean Shanghai and watch it. Nothing like ours. That's probably one of the most thrilling experiences that I've had at a Disney park was in Shanghai. From an overall aspect, they're very comparable. You know, I mean, in Paris, I think the Big Thunder is much better than our versions in the United States. It's a little bit longer. I think it's a little bit more inverted in spots where you feel like you're almost tipping off. And you know, here you're sliding left and right in ours, but theirs is super thrilling. Obviously, there's newer rides or different rides that we don't have here. The Iron Man ride in Hong Kong was super thrilling. You're getting to ride, you know, basically on the back of Tony Stark, Iron Man. Then you get to meet him at the end. They have a mechanical Iron Man in a costume that you get to meet, which is really cool. So there's a lot of cool, thrilling aspects. Obviously, Shanghai is probably the most technologically advanced of all of our parks because it's the newest. It just opened up in what, 2018, 17?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think they've celebrated the 5-year anniversary yet. We were there in 19, like 1 year after they opened. So there's a lot of their soaring is a little bit different than ours. Yeah, it's there's a lot of thrill factors over there. Tron, that's where I rode Tron for the first time, was in Shanghai.
True.
And at that point, I'd never been on something like that. Paris, we got to do Ratatouille before it was here, so that was pretty thrilling. They have a coaster that, it's like a kid coaster called Crush's Coaster at Paris at the Walt Disney Studios Park. I thought it was going to be something like Barnstormer, a little mini thrill ride for kids. One of the most intense coasters I've ever been on, So yeah, I was like screaming like a little girl on that ride. But yeah, there's a lot of thrill factors overseas. If any of you guys watching have an opportunity, a lot of cool experiences at the parks overseas.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list one day. So come book your vacations with me so I can afford to go on that trip.
And you can combine a couple things, like when we done every single park, Paris, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Tokyo. Every single one of them was through an Adventures by Disney itinerary. So you guys can do an Adventures by Disney and see the countries and stop at the parks. With Shanghai or with the China Adventures by Disney China, all those parks were included in the itinerary. The Adventures by Disney Japan one, we had to stay longer to do that because it wasn't part of the itinerary. And at the time we did it, Paris was included too. I'm not sure that it is now, but you can do an Adventures by Disney. You can book one through Beth, through Alyssa, through myself, or any of our wonderful agents at. Put the graphic up.
Oh, hold on. I'm slacking here. There we go.
Moments of Magic Travel. You can get your free, no obligation quote. Go to Adventures by Disney and experience all the Disney parks overseas. So
nice. Like that plug, Jeff. That was good.
Perfect.
Well done.
All right. Can you guys think of any more like thrills that just stand out to you? Like I was trying to go back, and I think it goes back to that nostalgia, like taking Trip on his first Disney vacation. Yep. He was only one. Is he gonna remember it? No. However, when we talk about going to Disney, he'll bring up like the characters he wants to see him hugging when he was a baby. Yeah. Like he'll bring that stuff up, and he's so excited now to go.
And he might not remember it all, but you will, and I'm sure you got the videos to show him. I can only think of one more thrilling thing that we didn't talk about, and I think it's a great way to bring this to a close. So if Beth or Alyssa, you don't have anything else, the most thrilling experience, I think, going to Disney World, whether it's every once in a while for the first time, is actually driving on the property and driving through the Walt Disney World arches. When you do that, that your vacation's starting, you're in the Disney bubble, that nothing is going to hurt you for the next 5, 6, 7 days, and you're just going to have a blast making memories. So that's one of my most thrilling things as a little kid going there I shouldn't say little kid. I think I was a young adult for my first time when I went. My first trip wasn't until high school, and going through those arches, I felt like I was 5 years old. And every time I go through them now, I feel like I'm 5 years old. So I have a million videos of doing the same thing, but I always pull my phone out and videotape me going through the arches every darn time. And it's the same video I have 100 times, but you do it.
Well, you know what? I think I grew up in Orlando, so I took those arches for granted when I lived there, because you'd always have to go through them to get to Disney Springs and stuff. So I didn't really care. But now that I don't live there, and anytime I go, I'm with you guys. I record it every single time.
And now that you're a parent too, right? Yeah. Because you look at them looking at the arches and their smile on their face is just priceless.
Ugh, can't wait. I can't wait to get there, and because we'll have a rental car, and for us to drive and to tell Trip we're officially at Disney, and he'll actually understand the concept now, what that means.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Can't wait.
When is both of your next trips?
Well, together.
Conference?
Conference?
Yeah, so we'll be there. When are we gonna be there? October 5th.
Yes, through the like 10.
Something like that.
Yeah,
And
Hey,
I'm sitting.
you know, talking about thrilling, let's just take a second and talk about the aqua coaster on the
didn't
Wish.
even think of that. I didn't even did I even mention? I don't think I said put Disney Cruises on my show notes at all. You're totally right, Beth.
Yep.
I mean, now we got a whole nother hour to talk. I mean, but when we go on the Disney Wish, I'm excited. Jeff, I don't know if you've been on it already. I haven't.
I have not been on the Wish. I've been on the other 4 ships, and so I've done the Aqua Dunk and the Aqua Duck.
Okay.
This was a little bit different with Wish, you know, and Alyssa and I have talked a little bit. I still might be on the Wish with you guys because it looks like they opened it back up, and I still might go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little Florida out at the moment with going down and visiting my son all the time. But October is a world away, as we all know, when it comes to Disney.
Yeah.
So I there's a good chance you might see me there with you guys. So
woo.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that entire cruise is going to be thrilling because there's so much to do and so much to see, and yeah, like, and we're going to have a whole entire episode just on that that cruise, that ship. So, but you're so right, Beth. I didn't even put that. I don't know even why I didn't think of that because that totally is encompassed in.
And
thrills.
they just announced today they're going to unveil the treasure later this week.
You're right.
You know, a little video, so we get to see what new spaces that Treasure has. I mean, if you listen to all the message boards and rumors, there's supposed to be, you know how they have a Star Wars bar on Wish? They're supposed to have a Haunted Mansion one on Treasure. So I'm really hoping that is true. Again, people, this is a rumor. We're not confirming it, but gosh, that would be awesome.
So happy though.
I remember when they did the same reveal video for the Wish, and they really did kind of go into details. Like, obviously they don't have everything built yet, but into what the concept are and what the dining options were going to be, and the bars and the kids clubs and everything. So I am extremely excited for this update.
Yep. I cannot wait for that update. I've already got it clicked on my phone as a reminder so I can watch. I'm excited to see what the restaurants are going to be because I love the theming of the restaurants on a Disney cruise. I'm really jealous if I don't end up going with you guys that you're going to get to be in that Marvel restaurant before me, with Ant-Man and everything. You know.
Well, did you see the little teaser though with the video today? So there were, I don't know if it's related to dining or it's related to the rooms or what it is, but there were 3 locations on the map. Number 1 was Saudi Arabia, which we kind of already knew Aladdin was going to have a part in it. And the second one was Mexico, which could be a few things, but I'm thinking like Coco or something like that. And then the third one was Brazil, I think it was, or around like that area. So it could be Colombia, like Encanto. Or they mentioned another one that was in the area, uplands in Brazil. So like it could be a few different things over there. So I'm super excited to see about the theming. Is that related to food? Is that related to themes? Is that related to something else? So I think little teaser there. I'm excited to see.
Absolutely. And they announced the figures on the back of the ship for Treasure and it's Peter Pan and Captain Hook, you know, which is perfect for Treasure, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
So, good times.
Okay. Thank you, Beth, for bringing that up because I didn't even think about it. Okay. I think, is that a wrap?
We are a wrap. We are almost an hour.
We did it successfully. Look at that.
We did it successfully, and it was painless. And we plugged John. We put the Moments of Magic graphics. One more time, Moments of Magic. One more time.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for being Vanna, Beth. Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, how about this? I'll take over the ending like John. I'm going to put my best John impression on.
There you go.
Okay. All right. For Beth, for Jeff, and for Alyssa. I'm Alyssa. Oh, yeah. There we go. This was the Universe of Magic podcast. We'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.
Yeah.